Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. I hope you'll enjoy today's video because I will go through the topic of astrology and that thing that a lot of people ask me, like, okay, so what do you believe that everything is set in stone? It's like fate, whatever is there is going to happen, or you believe that we have a free will? So first, I want to tell you my personal experience about my first time chart reading. Uh, I'm someone who believes that my destiny is in my hands. So I'm responsible for whatever happens in my life. And I'm the one to build my life the best I can and the way I want. So I was at the university and a friend of mine invited me to go to her aunt. So she said, okay, let's go together. And she wanted to pick up something. And when we reached there, she said, listen, um, her hobby is astrology. Why don't you look at your chart? I believe that it will be very interesting. Now, I was ashamed to say in front of her aunt, like, okay, listen, I don't believe in it. I mean, I can listen and then I'll just forget. So I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And her aunt actually was a director in one of our banks. So that was her hobby. She was not a full-time astrologer. And I must say, I was not really interested at all. But at that time, I was kind of stuck with my studying. I did study, but I was just not able to take an exam. So in a second, I was like, okay, let me see. Maybe she can help. Maybe she can tell me what is happening. Why do I feel like this? What is blocking me? So she started reading my natal chart, and my face expression changed from not interested to okay, wait a second, how she could possibly know this. And to be honest, I do not remember everything that she said because I was very into my opinion that I am the creator of my own destiny. But later on, as some things happened, um, it just came back what she said, and she was right for some things. I mean, a lot of things most probably, but I can't really remember all of them. So one thing that she was definitely right about is that I will be going abroad, and I did want to go abroad, but earlier, not at that time. So not at that time when I visited her. So when she told me that, I remember myself saying, yeah, right, I should do that before. Now I'm not sure anymore. But yes, I did ended up going abroad. So I left her apartment a little bit confused because that's the woman that I never saw in my life. I left her apartment a little bit confused because I seriously didn't know how she can see the way I deal with people or what are my fears and so on. And but I forgot about all of it very quickly and I just kept moving. So the things that she said, few things that I remember did happen. I don't know if I followed maybe more carefully, maybe I would come to a conclusion that more than few things, sorry, more than few things happen. But anyway, to summarize on this, my approach to astrology is that astrology nowadays is here to help you navigate through life, not to tell you, okay, this is determined for you and you will be doing this, be living there, and so on. Um, if you would like to live abroad, you might, if that's possibility in your chart, you might still decide to stay in your country because I do believe that we have a free will. And I believe that astrologers should not try to predict um, certain events, especially the ones that are up to us. If someone is going to die or something is going to happen that you cannot avoid, and no one knows actually 100% those things. I don't believe that astrology can predict um, that kind of stuff like with high accuracy. I think only God knows that universe, whatever you believe, you know. So in my opinion, astrology is there to help you navigate through whatever you are going through now. Or, for example, if you have a certain difficulties in your relationships, at your work or family matters, then you could look into that and see where the things are going and how you can move beyond that. So when Saturn is in a certain house, Saturn is always responsibility and no fun. And it can be overwhelming, it can be difficult. So you might, astrologer can tell you, okay, look, um, there are going to be maybe harder days ahead. So, but it is going to pass. And maybe the best attitude to take in this moment would be this or that, pay attention on this or that. So there are ways to work with it. Now, astrology is something that a lot of people doesn't take seriously. Why? Okay, let's go back a little bit to the history. So a sky is something that has this infinite secret, and we always look up at the sky, and we still don't know a lot of things. And I'm not sure that if we will ever know all the secrets. I'm almost sure that we will not, and that's okay. No, I mean, what would be the thrill of that? So the first astrology recorded was 25,000 years ago. So we're speaking about the people that lived in a caves, and they recorded the position and the movement of the sun and moon so that they can know when to plant, which season comes, is it the cold, hot, so is it the hot, cold weather, and what is coming. So, and that's it. This is what they were able to observe. Considering the level of the evolution of the caveman, of course, we could not expect from them to know more than that. Then later, as the civilization evolved, we've got the more and more astrologers involved. Now, we're speaking about the times when there was no hospital, there was no doctors. We had maybe a woman or a man that was dealing with the herbs and astrologers and so on. So people were coming to astrologer to ask for help. For example, when the child was born, then they go to astrologer and they check if the child is healthy, if it is going to survive, if it is strong enough to survive, and what is to be done. So what they can do, is it to keep the child warm or to whatever the case might be. So that was the reason, that was the way how the astrology was used earlier. But again, we come to that how much the human evolved at that time. So later on, we've got the first great astrologers that originated from Mesopotamia. And at that time, we had they were like sky watchers. So the astrology becomes something else. It was actually the introduction to astronomy. And at that time, they knew it about the inner planets, the planets that are visible to our eye. So all the way up to Saturn. And in 17th and 18th century, we've got the great astrologers. Now, in 17th century, the astrology become a little bit, was pushed aside because of Copernicus and heliocentric system. Again, we are coming to evolution because humanity evolved and people turned more into science. and they wanted new knowledge, new inventions, and so on. However, in 18th century, there was a break point, let's say. In 18th century till 20th century, the outer planets were discovered. What does that mean? The outer planets are the planets that we cannot see with the visible eye. So we need a telescope for that. And the first one to be discovered was Uranus. Now, Uranus was discovered in 1781. And every planet that was discovered after that, starting from Uranus and after, had something to do with the events that were happening around the discovery of that planet. So Uranus is the planet of freedom, fighting for your own rights, not your own rights, for humanity, for human rights, being a rebel, setting yourself free. So Uranus was discovered in 1781, and we are speaking here about a USA Revolution and the French Revolution. So I'm repeating this, but it's very important. Again, we are coming to evolution. How much did we evolve at that time? So we realized that there is something, there are social norms that we want to break free from, and that we have a right to be free. So after that, in 18th century, 1846, Neptune was discovered. Now, Neptune is a planet of confusion, delusion, mistakes, also planet of sacrifice, and a planet of hospitals, of medicine, of narcotics, or any kind of addiction. So this is what he rules. And now it is very interesting that in 1612, Galileo did record Neptune, but he made a mistake and recorded as a fixed star. Why? So Neptune was there, but we were not able to locate properly, to record that it's a planet, it's a fixed star, because we were not ready. The humanity did not evolve to that point where the Neptune and his higher octave of love, let's say, and sacrifice, and he rules also the art. So you are kind of lost in the art. It's not real. So we were not ready for that. And he rules the medicine as well. So at the time when Neptune was discovered, the anesthetic was first time in use. And also the opium was used as a medicine. Opium is a drug, and Neptune rules the addictions. Now, at the same time, the war over opium started between China and other countries. So at that time, we were ready to use the good stuff of Neptune. Now, we always have a bad side, so it depends on us how we use it. And then in 1930s, that's the 20th century. So there is a sequence here. We have 18th century, 19, and 20. So in 1930, Pluto was discovered. So Pluto is a great transformer. He puts us through that in order to be born again, in order to emerge into something new. There is a process of metamorphosis that you are going through when Pluto is slowly transiting any of your houses. So you might not feel the immediate effect, but once Pluto moves from that house to the next one, it's over. You are changed. That part of your life is changed, and that's for sure. Now, he is a planet of destruction as well. So in 1930s, obviously, the monetary system had to be destroyed in order to build something else. And the humanity had to go through major destruction and transformation, and maybe to unite again, or to look at some better times. So this is the time when the USA depression started. The economical system collapsed. The Second World War came. Um, a lot of people died, and nuclear weapons were in place, atomic bombs. That's something that can absolutely destroy humanity. Now, what is interesting is that we still did not discover any new planets since then. And I'm wondering, why is that? Are we not ready for something new? Because I believe that there is another planet to be discovered. I'm not sure if I'm going to witness that, but Venus is a planet that rules two signs, and that's Libra and Taurus. Now, Libra rules with the pretty things, with the beauty, with the chocolates and sweets and love and relationships and so on. So the same ruler, Venus, is in charge of Libra, but also is in charge of Taurus. He's a very hedonistic sign. He likes to eat good and very much cares about the financial or let's say material side of life. Also, by Taurus, the Earth as a planet is presented. So I believe that there is another planet except Venus that rules the Earth. And we might not be ready for that yet. We might be careless or caught a lot in the material things. We might stock more than we need. We might just collect for ourselves, the more the better. And our relationship with the land that we live on is not right. So once that evolves, I believe that we will come to another mathematical and astronomical position of a planet that could rule the Earth. So to wrap it all up, astrology is not what it used to be in ancient times. So if people were considering blindly what astrologer is going to say, that's because of the state of mind people at that time. But as we evolved, us as a human, we evolved, and astrology evolved as well. Now we know that we have a free will. If I'm going to tell you, okay, listen, you might be fired. There are going to be difficulties at your workplace. You know that you can find a job maybe in the next company, in a maybe next month in another company. So it is not going to be the end of the world. But at that time, there is no job. You are working at the field, so the field will give you something or not. So you are or hungry or full. So we have more possibilities. We are more conscious than the people before. And we do make decisions for ourselves. So use the astrology wisely, and it can help you a lot. You are the owner of your life. You are the owner of your paths. There is, of course, the power that is bigger than us. Using astrology doesn't actually put aside religion. That can come hand by hand. So I just believe that everything is given to us to facilitate, to make the things easier on us. It's just how open-minded we are to receive that and to use it in our life. I hope you like the video, and I'm really trying to change the perspective of people on astrology and to really distinguish what astrology is and what astrology isn't anymore. It is not only a predictive tool, and I still believe that we cannot predict with 100% accuracy some things, but we might be, let's say, close to possibilities that are in front of you. So you know what to do. You know how to, if you are going to relocate and you are not going to feel there. So in that case, you might choose to go alone and then bring your family later until you see what's happening. Or if you see that there is something wrong at your work, then you might already apply for another job. Also, Jupiter as a great benefic, when he comes, he's a planet of joy and prosperity, but also planet of expansion. So when he comes to the house of health, for someone who suffered from cancer, uh, that cancer might come back. So there are things that could be really helpful. I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.